How long has it been since we podcasted, or I've done a podcast or anything like that?
All I can tell you is that since the time you and I have done one, I did one with Jack Napier and Rob, and then I did
You
another one
whore.
with Rob.
You cheating
Cheat
whore.
off. They
With
wanted me more.
with those two ugly guys, no less. Jesus.
Well, you've been busy.
I have. And I think this is the first podcast in a while. The only reason I'm like, God, I haven't paid Chad super chats in a long ass time. So it has to have been at least a month. Uh
Well,
because
they
it's
were dedicated to our friend and his procedure.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. I did just pay Athamon, but even that was quite some time ago.
Yeah, that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so you said you were feeling ranty. By the way, I am mailing this one in because I have been so if you think the light is remember we went to the light at the end of the tunnel?
I'm
When
looking
we're-
for that myself, but yeah, I do
right.
remember. I do remember.
Right. We entered that train tunnel. For those of you who don't know, me and Chad went running over by the place in Wisconsin. Um and it went into this train tunnel. And so we're going through this tunnel and water's coming down. It's all leaky and very cave-like. And at the other end, you can see the light at the tunnel. So we must have been just hoofing it for a good 5-10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, we got to be close to the end. And then we turn around and it looked like we walked about 3 feet into that damn tunnel because it was so damn long and your perspective is warped. And that's what it's been like for the past 2 fucking months. I mean, the house is moving along, everything's going great. But I've been looking at it like, man, I'm spending an hour or two a fucking day. And this type of hinges, those type of hinges, this type of door handle, that type of door handle. It's like just fucking build a house. And then I had to go to Miami. And that was a good old time. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
You had to go to Miami.
Boy, it was real tough going running in 82 degrees and
Ooh,
sitting at Myron's high level studio on the 59th floor. And
You had such charming, like not entitled at all ladies that aren't picky by any means.
And you know what also sucked is the lack of intellectual hosts they had. They had some guy called Rollo Tomasi and Jacques, no, not Jack, Davin Sharpay. And those guys are like rookie Bush League type of guys. But then and I'm like, oh, we got to go to Wisconsin. I'm like, fuck. So I just yearn for the days where there wasn't YouTube. Like, you just wrote a blog post. Hey, people read it because they also were bored at work too. So, but yeah. So I'm exhausted. And I literally just went through confirming or denying the color on cabinetry. I think cabinetry is probably, if you ever build a house, cabinetry is where they fool you through the women to fuck you in the ass. Because I don't see how normal cabinets will cost like 25 grand. But we're not having cabinets put up on top. We're having floating shelves. And that just eliminated more than half the cost. So we got it down to $7,000. But $7,000 for what is no more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 cabinets. And yeah, just so that's why I've been thinking about his cabinets. So anyway.
Why are you in Wisconsin?
Because I didn't want to be in Minnesota.
Well,
and I don't want to be in my apartment. I don't want to be in that state. I don't want to be in that same neighborhood. I don't want to go to the same fucking bars, see the same fucking people. Also, because I'm now resident of South Dakota, and you know this, Mr. Taxman, I can't spend more than 180 days or 181 days in Minnesota. And so now it pays me to go and travel. So I still have like 4.5 months I can use.
I'm going to cut you off.
Okay.
How can the IRS? Do you think the IRS would even try to prove, how many days you spent?
What does the IRS care? They want federal taxes, right?
Right, but it starts with them. Like the state bodies are going to try to pull your state, what should be your state records from the IRS. Right. The IRS is going to say, well, his permanent address was changed, X and X date. And I mean, I get what you're doing. I'm just saying you don't have to be you don't have to be worried about that too specifically.
No, I'm not going to be worried about because I'm not going to run afoul of the law. But they have had Minnesota Department of Revenue agents at the airport getting people because their flight got delayed into past midnight. So it's the Minnesota state, and I hate Minnesota and the government and its people so much. I want to make sure I got an airtight case. Like, nope, I don't even want to be here. Look, by the way, I don't want to spend the maximum amount of time in Minnesota. I have to. I could spend 2 more days and never set foot in the state again. Unfortunately, I do have some family and people that I am going to visit occasionally. But I'm just going to, I got a resident, I got bank accounts, I got electric bills, I got my vehicles registered there. What else? The LLC is registered there. It's all about, the only thing left is to get a dentist and a doctor. And then there's absolutely no way they can claim I have a nexus, which maybe you want to explain to the people so they could fall asleep what a nexus is in the state of Minnesota.
Okay, I mean, it's a good excuse to not spend time there, but I wouldn't be too paranoid about this.
Okay.
You do you.
There were news stories where they were waiting. Somebody didn't make it back to Florida on time, and all right.
I say this as a compliment to both of us. You and I, we just don't matter enough for the state revenue agents to do that. The people that they're getting are people that have a lot more money than us.
Would this sound too arrogant? Because I'm going to tell you the truth, and it may sound arrogant. Because I've been in Minnesota for so long and relatively participatory, or certainly a pundit politically of that, and have scoured the Daytons and the latest governor and Keith Ells and all these local politicians, many of you don't know. Would it be like that asshole? This guy's been a thorn in our side for quite some time. Like that they would say, oh, this, because I have enough of a public presence, they might actually like, oh yeah, you know what? Get this guy on everything. No, I mean, still not.
If they were able to look into like your bank records, past tax returns, and I don't think you'll mind me saying this, you are not making millions of dollars.
No, I am not making millions of dollars. No.
It's all about money, man. Like their resources are limited until we reach levels of, I don't know, at least I'll say at least 7 figures AGI. They're not interested in us.
Really? That high?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They don't have the manpower for it, or human power. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Biden's going to make money printer go burr, like the past 3 presidents in intellectual fairness did.
Yes.
So soon all the state agencies will have plenty of money. Although it does bring up an interesting academic point. Like, why are you even going after tax dodgers if you're just going to print off the damn money? Like, net wouldn't just be the same damn thing?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Well, let's get some super chats real quick so we don't fall behind, and then you can tell me about what a joyous time you're having during your busy season. Hit it, Chad.
Ben Jones for $2. I already got my tax refund, so you guys are late. Ha 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 ha. Well, didn't you? Did you get yours? You should get it any day now.
I should look it up, and I hope I do, because I don't think we're spilling the beans here. I do get a refund, and as per the great Clary bailout of 2021, and selling all my books and all that, I want as much money as I can possible to bring to the table when I close my mortgage. The finances and numbers of which confused people. And it's basically, I want the lowest mortgage payment possible. And so when I get my tax refund, that would help.
I want to mention, and I know your GF agreed with me, we don't like you getting a refund like that, but that's all I'm going to say.
I know. Does it cost you any more time?
Well, no, but it kind of costs. If you're okay with it, then
fine. I'm okay with it, because let me explain something to you, okay? Because the GF. And for those of you who don't do estimated taxes, if you're self-employed, you have to pay quarterly taxes into the IRS and the state, even local if you have a local income tax. And the federal government gives you this worksheet that is more complicated than the math that went involved in landing that latest Mars Range Rover on the planet Mars. It's horrifically complicated that I just ballpark it. And so one time, now admittedly, I over ballparked it. I paid too much in, and that's fine. I'll get my refund. But normally I'm well within like a 2% margin of error what I have to and either get a refund or pay. Well, one time I was like within $7. And the GF was so pissed because she has to go through the process, Chad. She's an accountant. What? The federal government gave you this. I'm like, how? I got an idea. How about I save myself the 3 hours? I'm sorry, 4 hours, an hour each quarter of going through that fucking worksheet. And I just throw in a little bit extra to err on the side of caution, and then I'll get my refund. And it works, and the earth is still rotating around the sun, and the birds are chirping. And so it doesn't bother me. Plus, it also kind of keeps you frugal. Like, oh, I don't need that much money, like, okay. And then, oh, all right, I got my refund back. It was always my money. I don't think of it as new money, but it's like, oh, this was squirreled away, and maybe I paid a 2% inflation tax on it, but that's fine by me.
I'll just say that I agree with your GF about this, but at the same time, I'm trying to turn her into a super accountant. So we will see what happens there.
All right. Well, you can. Does she get a cape? I got a better idea. Let's just give her some heels and thigh highs and kind of like that, maybe a little cape. That'd be about it. Like a very skimpy superhero outfit.
Skimpy being the key word.
Skimpy.
Dre, hold on, let me scroll up. Oh, I see it. Yeah, Dre for $1.99. Erin Clary, she, her, and Vlad Elkins, Giga Chad CPA. I love it when pronouns appear in super
I love
chats.
it. Yes. I will be. If I were to ever go back to corporate America, I will. I'm not joking. I will be changing my gender, and I will go as Erin Clary, and I will. I will not claim. I will be transitioning. There, you heard it first there. So give me my effing job, you sexist, hypocritical bigots.
I had a better name for you, but yeah.
What would my name be?
You remember Cuddlewooks, so she wouldn't know who you were?
Yeah, that's not a female name.
We could change it.
Erica Corey. Right.
Cynic for $2. Idiot stockbroker sent 1099 late, amending time. Yeah, they were really late with those.
Which stockbroker? Let's point them out so people don't work with those stockbrokers. Fuck these guys.
Well, it was probably the brokerage firm that like releases those. People like TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. And
shouldn't those guys of all people be on their game?
Oh, I'm not saying it was them. I'm just saying it might have been a smaller brokerage house that screws that.
I don't care. We should Cynic, tell us who it was so we don't bank with those guys or brokerage with those guys.
He's not alone. This has been happening. I got a whole list of rants about this tax season, but we're doing super chats. Okay. So Bacon for $2.23. Driving in Seattle with upgraded armor. What did I miss?
Problems. And then you missed the handling. But it's all okay now because they got handled.
Sometimes.
I like this. Is he just doing that? What I miss? Is that his saying now?
I don't know. I don't miss some of the old sayings. Like, what is this? What did I miss? We think that,
Well,
whatever.
I mean, he could be like Atham with his obscure working schedule. And Atham would have every right to come and say, hey, what I miss? And it'd be like, oh, you awake? And,
I'm just waiting for a 99-cent super chat with a cat farting hearts any second
I wonder who that would come from.
Mexi Mike for $5. Chad the CPA looking suave, digging the hair, coif bra, snap some pics for the Tinder profile, get Chicago liberal chicas. They use cell towers to track you. Thank you, Mexi Mike. I appreciate that.
I'm glad we have Mexi Mike here to help us with the dating and the pursuit of the girls.
I need the ego boost.
Hang on. I got, oh my goodness. Okay, hang on. Did you pay attention to any of the podcasts that we did with Fresh and Fit?
I had them on live while I was doing work, not just the one where you had the ladies there. I think you did one the night. It was either the night before or the night after.
I was shocked, happy for them, but shocked how much they got in super chats.
Yeah, I saw that.
They were getting $100 donations regularly. They got a $500 super chat donation. And these two kids, that one's 30, the other's 28. I'm like, holy cow, you go, guys.
Was that the first time you'd been introduced to Kevin Samuels before? Like, had you seen his stuff?
No, I missed him. I logged out. I left because I was tired, and it was going to be a painful discussion with those girls. I said my piece. Kevin Samuels is a genius. I listened to him later on. That guy is amazing.
He gets moolah with those.
Oh, does he make a lot with the super chats?
Yeah. So
Okay, somebody's got to buy those ties. I mean,
he is quite a dresser. Dre for for $1.99. Minnesota to Cappy. Don't leave. We need your tax money. Hey, isn't that is that the guy who stepped on George Floyd? Is that going on in Minnesota right now? Or I think
I don't
so.
know if it's the guy or if it's one of the other cops because I don't watch
Okay.
the news anymore, and I don't
Me
care. I'm not a
neither.
resident of Minnesota, and I don't plan on being in Minnesota. But yeah, one of the showcase, and I have a feeling it will be a third-degree manslaughter.
Okay.
Or unintentional homicide or something like that, and the whole kit and caboodle is going to riot because they're a bunch of fucking NPC lemmings. So.
Yeah, I haven't been watching the news either. I had somebody in here earlier talking about it. A cop, actually, a Chicago cop, not one that you know, but a Chicago cop.
They were. I don't know if they're timing the. I don't know how long the trial will go, or if you can even estimate that. But I'm wondering if they're trying to time it so that if the verdict comes out and it's like anything but the death penalty, that if there's rioting, it's like that judgment is put forth on a day right before there's a 5-day spree of below zero weather. No, I'm serious because that's not even a joke. The Minneapolis police and the U of M police, you could scale back during winter because there was not as much crime because people are indoors and it's cold.
Yeah.
So a lot of cops would go on take leave or go on vacation because why the hell would you be in Minnesota if you didn't have to be? So I'm kind of curious how the timing of that works.
You remember that whole Jussie Smollett hoax from it was like a year and 3 months ago or something?
Yeah.
The whole thing behind that was that alleged event where he got attacked, literally the coldest day of the year in Chicago. It was like wind chills of -25 or something. So his story was just so stupid.
Yeah. Well, he got his attention.
Be strong for $2. How high do you think gas prices will go?
I do not know.
I don't have a car.
See how easy that was, huh? This is how you make $2 in 3 seconds.
You get what you pay for. DJ Aftershock for $5. Where do all the dude bro least Beamer white Republicucks live in your city? Old residencies and current place of residencies. This can be for both.
Oh, like in the different.
Talking to me or you?
Well, you never lived anywhere except Chicago and one time in Virginia. Oh, in Notre Dame, I forgot that.
DC.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious, like Chicago, what you would say. I know Minneapolis. Dude, bro, lease beamers. They'd be in Uptown in Minneapolis. They'd be in Crocus Hill and St. Paul. They are two separate cities. They're not just merged into one. I think St. Louis Park more recently is where the Dude Bros were. But I think Dude Bros are on the way out, especially with the millennials, because they went, Dude Bros for whatever we pick on them, but at least they hit the gym. At least they wrestled or threw a punch in high school.
Mm.
You don't see a lot of that car game happening anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and then and the Republic Cucks, they all live in the suburbs. It's always and it doesn't matter what suburbs. Minnesota males are the biggest fucking pussies there ever was. They'll just yes, dear, okay. A lot in Wayzata, a lot in Minnetonka, a lot in certainly the inner ring suburbs but those aren't Republicans, I guess. Those would be the liberal soy boys. But yeah, you got to get out to the far north side, like Anoka or Elko on the south side, or practically Wisconsin, before you start finding some gun-toting, real conservative men who are like, yeah, you touch my daughter, I'll effing kill you, and no, you're not rioting on my property. But at the suburbs, all the way, you could at least a 20-mile radius around the metro, at least.
Yeah, with here it would be Lake County, which is the county above Cook County. There's a bunch of money there. It's more conservative, obviously, than here in the city.
Right, but then Wifey Poo just has to vote for the children's, right?
Yeah, those North Shore. Yeah.
Yeah. There were a couple districts that were the wealthiest, some of the wealthiest, I should say, within the Twin Cities area, and they voted Democrat.
Same here.
And it's kind of like, okay, so and I know you could argue some cheating and this and that, but a lot of it is just like, oh, well, I'll just let the wifey poo do anything. Oh, yes, dear. Okay, vote more taxes, so I have to work more to send our kids to a school we're already sending them to. Yeah, it is the happy wife, happy life Republicans that populate the Minneapolis suburbs. So there you go. Mateo.
So Mateo, for $5. Let me answer this first. How do girls see Hispanic guys? I feel like we are at the bottom of the totem pole. There happens to be a Hispanic guy in the chat right now who may be at work.
Did we let one in?
Now, he may be working, but he's for damn sure someone who doesn't see himself as at the bottom of the totem pole, and he has the results to back it up. So
I would say that girls see Hispanic guys with their eyes. That's how I'd imagine girls see Hispanic guys. Now, don't feel like that's bigoted or racist. They also see white, black, and Asian men with their eyes as well. So they're not being biased there. It's just an unfortunate fact that I think most women see Hispanic guys with their eyes. That's it. No, they there's an OK Cupid study. Remember that where they did like response rates? So Mateo, there's empirical evidence up there. Look at the OK Cupid, I think it was. Response rates as a heat grid with between green and red. And don't quote me on this. Somebody look it up. The dead last ranked dudes are East Indian dudes. Now, this is within America. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe it's black men, maybe Hispanics. I do remember Native American Indians were ranked relatively high. And then white dudes are at the top. Oh,
Asian males
are down there. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do too well.
Yeah, they didn't do too well either. But white dudes are at the top. But I think, look it up. I think Hispanics are roughly mid-ranked. But yeah, if you are East Indian or black, yeah, that's the huge disadvantage there.
Yeah. Cynic for $2. Bailout for another failed banker. Hashtag Cappy bailout. Yeah, I think failed is. I don't know about an app term.
We got one of these days. I gotta get Cynic on. Once we get back to a normal world where I can podcast and everything's fine and wonderful. I'm having a lot of people talk about van life. Yeah. There's a gal I was trying to set you up with. She's a fan. She's into van life.
I think I've already talked to her, right?
Did you?
Well, I don't want to say where she lives, but you had hung out with her before.
No. That one. No, she's not in a van. That gal's also very nice over in Vegas. We can say she was in Vegas. Yeah, she's a nice, sweet girl. Yeah. No, this is a different one I tried to set you up with, and she was flighty.
Hey,
which I know. Sit down, Chad. A girl was flighty. If you could imagine that. That's
kind of like Sable or whatever her name was in that chat. But anyway,
I didn't. Did she get flighty afterwards, or
not flighty? Just but I don't get started on that.
That's all right. I'll go on.
Juan, the Aztec patriarch.
Speaking of middle of the totem pole people.
$5. About to receive first child support check. Is that considered taxable income? I want to be prepared for next year's tax season without any surprises. You probably know the answer to this, right?
I would say it's not because it's going to a dependent, right?
Yeah. Now, alimony is actually considered taxable income, but get this, tax reform made it so if you're paying alimony since 2019, you can't deduct it.
You can't deduct it from your taxes?
There were a slew of divorces in 2018 because of this.
Do you want a funny story?
Always.
And I could tell you this because the people involved will not tune in. So I go visit my dad. And
I've met him.
Yeah, you've met my dad. Yeah, but you didn't meet his wife because his wife is slightly ill. Old age, frail. Frail is the best. It's not like she's diseased or anything like that. She can't make it out as much. So I went and visited today. And why is one side of your beard longer than the other? And I don't understand. Like, and put your ear things in, hearing aids. I can't hear you. It's just like peck, 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 peck. And then we're talking. She's like, "Well, do you think you'll ever get married?" And I just start laughing. I'm like, "What? What? Do you want to criticize his beard some more?" And they don't get it. It's just like, fuck no, lady. Fuck no. Because if you get married, they got you, then they have dictatorial power. Not that they would unleash it, but they're unconscious. And then, 30, 40 years from now, my GF is like, did you clean out your ears? Oh, here's a parking space. Oh, it's like, oh, fuck, you need that ultimate nuclear weapon option to say, if you don't knock this shit off, get the fuck out of here.
Never gonna understand why some dudes, I mean, I guess they're so used to it. If they get divorced or their wife dies or something and they're older, 50s or 60s, they immediately pop right into another marriage.
Vince Dennis Malone of Masculine Geeks.
Yeah.
He did that. What are you, Matt Forney? What are you doing?
I'm throwing something away.
Well,
keep going.
Keep going. Need to hear, well, yeah, but it's annoying. So anyway, what was I talking about? It escapes me now. It doesn't matter. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad for Juan that he's about to get his first child support check. He should frame that, and scan it in. Are you there?
Yeah. Dre for $1.99. Cappy, when are you giving back to the community?
I will give back to the community when the community not only returns all the money it gave for me, but gives me compensation for blaming all their problems and their mistakes on me, a big ass apology letter, and then they give me something on top of it, because I can't give back to the community if they never gave me something in the first place. So the community can have a big old nuclear bomb shoved up its ass, as far as I'm concerned right now. I'm in such a foul mood.
Yeah, I thought I was the one who was supposed to be ranty tonight.
Oh, just it's all work and no something make Cappy a angry boy. Scrolling. And look, I mean, and the audience is being very generous and being very kind with the super chats.
Hello, Fred. You can't see it, but it's an emoji of shit or chocolate ice cream with a
I'm wondering if I'm going to start requiring a $5 minimum. We get all these super stickers.
Did you hear
Cynics end?
Well, real quick, were you there or had you left when Fred called in to Myron and Donovan?
No, did Fred call in?
I think you had left at that point.
Oh yeah, because I tried to set him up with Fred, and then I think Fred texted me, says there's no way I date any of them. No
Actually,
way.
You must have been there. Well, anyway,
Fred made a donation. He did a super chat. I said, "This is the guy. This is the guy I'm trying to set him up with." And then like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And Fred's a good looking dude. He's tall. He's very good looking. He's in great shape. He makes a lot of money. I'm like, "Okay, would you? Okay, yeah. What about Chad? Now keep in mind, he's only 5'6", which I'm sorry. I thought you were 5'6". You're not 5. You're 5'8".
Right. I texted Donovan and said, "Hey, correct him."
All right, hold it. Now let's be honest. Are you 5'6"?
No.
All right. You're 5'8", but does that include the hair? Like if we got the hair, you're down to 5'6". Does that include the hair up top?
No, the hair would make it, 5'8.5" or 5'9".
5'10", I'd say. That's a rockin' pompadour you got going on. It's a good mane of hair.
I mean, if I got those Tom Likas shoe lifters, I could even be 6 feet tall.
Wait, did Tom Likas wear lifted shoes or something? Or
he used to have this sponsor who would talk about these heel inserts that would
oh yeah,
I can't remember what it was.
Dude, I'm all for it, man. Use whatever weapon you got. Oh, they get push-up bras and heels and makeup and hair stuff and oh, but you lie 2 inches about your age. Or not your age, your height.
I'm dating somebody who's 5 feet even right now.
I thought you weren't.
Yeah.
All right. Occasionally paying homage at the altar. All right, I get it.
Hey, she comes to the office sometimes, and you know what happens in here.
I know what happens at the office. Taxes get done. Lots of paper cuts.
Yeah, there is that.
If people take a black light to their taxes, are they going to be in for a shock?
I should pan the camera to the couch over there, but I won't.
No.
Hold on. I did want to. So Cynic had he had a 99-cent one, but I wanted to
Right.
see the emoji. Oh, it was just a guy in sunglasses smiling.
Okay.
So Fred for $2. Kevin Samuels is the Elkin CPA of the Sphere. That dude is so smart and so good at debating. Like, I would never want to get into a debate with him.
No, I had several people email like, "Oh, have you listened to Kevin Samuels?" And I tell him what I told before. I'm like, I just don't have time. I would love to. He's on Donovan's show, and then after hearing the brief snippet, and I was just like, "Wow, that guy!" And you know who he reminds me of
Who?
is Thomas Sowell.
Oh,
Just precisely speaking, incredibly intelligent. Just even a Jordan Peterson level of he knows exactly what he's talking about and will not be distracted. He will focus in until there's a conclusion to a point. I was just very impressed. Very impressed.
so I've been listening to his stuff for months now, and you know how I learned about him was another good friend you have here in Chicago, like a shorter one.
Shorter one.
Shorter.
Oh, does he also happen to be of the Kevin Samuels tribe? Was
Yes.
he on a book cover of mine by chance?
He was, but he used to post snippets, on his Facebook wall. And finally, I checked him out several months ago, and I'm like, wow, this guy is on point.
He appeals. I know obviously Kevin Samuels is black, but he has his appeal goes beyond race. I mean, I have a buddy who's as Scandinavian as you can get. It's like, and he's one of the guys, dude, have you listened to Kevin Samuels? I'm like, no, I haven't. I'm getting food right now because we're running out, and I will be going back to work. And
You and I are not the targeted audience, really, but I still find it fascinating to listen to.
of Kevin Samuels, what's his general topic? I thought it was fashion, but then he moved on to something or
Well,
diversified.
he's an image consultant, but like at least since I've been watching his videos and listening to him, he does these shows where he mostly talks to women who come in who think they're super special. It's usually black women, and so he's always like, this is the problem with our community, and you saw how he breaks down arguments. So I mean, even though you and I are probably not the targeted audience, I still love listening to it. It's You're on mute.
I
There you
believe
go.
there is, yeah. I believe, and any guy can tune in because I think it's your entitlement now to see these gals kind of squirm. We're at the fret squirm. What do you mean I'm wrong stage? It's kind of like the I
Yeah.
what? That's kind of how dare you say and now you ever see Man on Fire with Denzel Washington?
No.
Okay, great movie, but it's a slow burn. He's hired as a bodyguard to protect this little girl of this rich family down in Mexico. And he's uh, burnt out, probably lost his wife. It's not too clear. And the first half of the movie is him watching over the kid. And since the kid is the daughter of rich people, the rich people never spend any time with the kids. So it's a story of how she basically becomes his little kid sister. He develops a rapport with her. He trains her, like, hey, you want to be on the swimming team, you got to go.
Hmm.
She really likes him because it's the only adult attention she's getting. And all of a sudden, he finds reason to live again because he was contemplating killing himself. So he sets down the booze. He's got this kid. He kind of looks around. Then the cartels kidnap her and he loses his fucking shit. And he goes and methodically hunts him down. And then it's not a slow burn, it's a very fast burn. And this is kind of the same thing a lot of you guys are watching now. Is it has been a slow slog where you have been lied to. I'm just going to be blunt. Women have been raised to be just not acceptable. Not acceptable. Certainly, there are some good quality women out there, but in general, you have also been insulted with things like affirmative action, where the constant championing of women and the blaming of everyone's problems on men, it's getting tiring. And now is the point where it's no longer a slow burn, where all of a sudden the kid gets kidnapped. And now these gals, like you saw, are in their 30s and they're slowly starting to realize it's over. And you got the Kevin Samuels, you had the Myron Gaines, anyone else that wants to bring women on. It's getting out there now where this is like, and now the cartel is going to die. And so the next half of the movie was just popcorn eating. I mean, it's just this amazing shoot 'em up, revenge, just, revenge porn is what it was. And this is the same thing. Gentlemen, it's not what you wanted, but enjoy the show. Because just why I think that's why guys like it, because they've been treated, frankly, like shit most of their lives. And now you get to see these delusional people. Just they're never going to convince or concede, but you get to see them like just a little bit of fear in their eye, or the shock that, well, people aren't agreeing with me. And it's just like, this is only going to get better. It's only going to get better.
You know what? I don't know if you've seen this. He actually will show them. He makes them show themselves. He doesn't always show it on YouTube, but occasionally he'll show the woman talking.
Okay.
The ones that have these inflated opinions of themselves are nobody that, like, they are not, 7s, 8s, or 9s. They're usually like 4s, 5s, or 6s, but they think they're 9s. And hearing him go after them is really something.
Yeah. No, it's the fact that, I mean, people have been standing up but they're bringing girls on and having this conversation. Ain't no one done that before.
Right.
And I think, and who knows, the risk is that they'll get canceled because, oh my God, he treated those girls so poorly. Why? By telling them the truth. So we'll see where it goes, but man, that guy's been blowing up. So it's working for him good right now.
Totally. There was one right above that we got to do.
All right, hang on.
Dre, $1.99. Any new Corona romance stories from Gig at Chad? Kinda, but I'm not going to talk about it now.
Okay, well, you don't have to.
You know about it.
You don't have to talk about it because it's not going to be successful even in the medium term anyway. So I mean,
probably not.
We could say Chad met a girl on the internet. She strung him along, got attention out of him, and then when it came time to meet in person, she flaked on him. I mean, is that kind of?
Well, that's not what happened.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe you actually do have a. Then it's a successful career.
You know all about this. All right.
I know all about it.
Atham for $2. What did I miss? Shit, ice cream.
Nothing. We've just been working. I think you, me, Atham, and I think everyone's been working a lot.
I have.
Yeah. Even the masculine geeks, they haven't done a lot of podcasting recently either. So.
Fred for $5. Can you give the lieutenants some advice about settling with gals from places where people tend to leave and then move back? I see guys dragged to wife's state.
It's you have to have. There is no individual place. It's their sister, their daughters want to get back to their mothers. That's it. And they love their family and their parents more than you. And so early on, like many other things, you have to establish it very clearly with the girl that you're about to date or marry, saying, I am moving to this state. We are setting up our own family. Your family could certainly visit, and we could certainly visit them. But our family comes first. If you are not willing to put our family first, then you could stay with your family. All right. But our family comes first. And no, we will. You guys, you can tell women no. And you could give them, it's not like you're ordering them. You got to do this before you get married. But you say, I'm moving here, or it's been my dream, and I'm going this way. And you could come with, but we are not coming back. Or we're not living here. We're not living there. And if you don't like that, that's fine. We'll see you later. Wish you the best. But you have to do that up front. You have to.
Special guest in the audience. You might say that he doesn't just like salad. He likes a particular garbage type of salad.
Garbage salad.
Oh, you don't remember that?
Oh, Doc.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have lunch with him or dinner with him maybe later on this week.
You should go to the same place we went. Okay. Atham for $2. Aaron's favorite ice cream. Here you go. I know your favorite ice cream, actually.
You do.
I know it.
I'll never have it again.
You will not get to have the Pavarotti because did they shut down, or you're just never going there again?
No, I'm never going back there because they put a ton of Black Lives Matter artwork up, and I'm like just and then their ice cream went to shit. I think their supply chain.
Did it?
Yeah. It was all crunchy and dry. It was really a letdown.
It's delicious when I tried it, but I know that was like a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, hands down best ice cream. No doubt about it. But you know what? I'm not supporting a bunch of racist communists because you're so fucking spineless. You got to play, oh, look, don't burn our shop down. Look, see, we got pictures of. It's like, no, fine, have fun. I don't even think the great and mighty Sebastian Joes will be able to survive. There are so many established places that have been closing and collapsing even before the coronavirus and even before the riots. There's going to be, it will be a gutted out hollow city. There will be no reason to go to the Twin Cities at all.
I have some sympathy for them because I've had business owners here just outside my office here who I talk to. Like, they put those signs up and everything, but it's only so they don't get their damn windows smashed.
Did they vote Democrat?
That I don't know.
Well, they probably did. Yeah. So fuck them. There. That's
Okay. Fred for $2. Or Mexi Mike.
Mexi Mike.
Mexi Mike. $2. Kevin Samuels kept cool under cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that Kevin Samuels is in his 50s?
Really? I would have thought like 40s.
Yeah, I 30s? Thought upper 30s, lower 40s. Yeah, I mean he's in good shape, obviously too. But that's why he's old and wise. No offense to Kevin, he's middle aged and wise. But he doesn't care. He has zero fucks left to give, and he was there for having an intellectually honest conversation, and he just doesn't let cognitive dissonance bother him or lies even.
He's really polite about it. He's like, ma'am.
I know.
Fred for $2. Jesse Hoax was two men in MAGA hats in Chicago. Clear lies. Yeah, I remember this. This was like a month before the pandemic, and it was just like nobody believed any of that crap. And the prosecutor, the lady here, decided not to prosecute him.
That's all right.
Waste of police resources.
You guys live in those states. I'm gonna go to the one where we don't have that crap for now.
Yeah. Dre for $1.99. Happy International Woman Day, brave and stunning. So that was yesterday, and I didn't even know about that until today.
This is another good argument for not paying attention to the news, because then you won't know about shit like this. And what's really neat is when you unplug from the news, you just go around about your regular day. Nobody knows this shit. Nobody cares, and it's somewhat of an encouraging and optimistic observation where it's like, yeah, people don't give a shit. I didn't know it was Women's Day yesterday because no one came up to me. Hey, did you know there were no protests? You know, I think this is a lot of it's the vocal minority on the interwebs just tweeting out and trying to get their attentions. But in Green Bay there was nothing going on. There was no. But then again, you don't really want to see Green Bay women celebrating.
By the way, I did another news interview this morning about taxes. It's on my Instagram. So.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah. Django Geek for $5. Since we have no reserve requirement, that means money supply doesn't affect the supply lines of loans, correct? But lowering rates does affect demand.
Lowering rate does affect demand. If a zero reserve requirement, yeah, the effective money supply is technically infinite when you have a reserve requirement ratio of 0. But that, keep in mind, that's just the policy that the central bank put forth. Is now you can lend out all your money if you want. I don't think banks are actually going to do that. I'm sure the effective rate is it might even be higher than the 10 or 8% it was, because ain't nobody borrowing anything to go start no businesses. If anything, they're borrowing money to build houses.
Yeah.
So yeah. I highly doubt, like, even the dumbest of bank leadership knows not to lend out all your money and have nothing left in the vaults or on the accounts.
Cabragoon Cabulous for $5. Hear about that beheaded teacher in 2016 for depiction of Muhammad. The student who started it just admitted she lied about it. I didn't hear about this.
Well, that's too bad. Teachers. And this is what happens when you raise a bunch of petulant little children. This is also why I carry a gun all the time.
Alex Patino for $2. I had plenty of success in Germany with the ladies.
It's because you're in uniform, Alex. I mean, even Chad would look good in a uniform. I mean, come on.
And a gun. Where are we at on here? Okay. Island Hermit RP for $10.
New guy. We got to say hello to the new guy. This is a new guy.
Thanks for the $10. Cappy, I'm moving off the grid to the big island of Hawaii and will be living in a school bus conversion. I'm about that van life, minimalist, single guy, no kids. Should be moving August or September. Cool.
I'm kind of curious. Island Hermit, I'm kind of curious, is there, because everything has to be imported into Hawaii, like, is there a supply of buses that you can buy used that are in good shape?
Good point.
And have you listened to Better Bachelor? I bet you he would love to talk to you about, go pay the guy some money to get some consult on converting a used school bus, because I'm sure Better Bachelor probably had some mistakes that he learned from and would do things differently. Might be able to help out Island Hermit. But an Island, if you do pull that off, please email some pictures. I'd love to see the bus in Hawaii, and ideally, if you could get pictures where the backdrop includes the scene from Magnum PI. That'd be really cool if you get Magnum PI scenes.
Hey, he mentioned your book the other night. I was watching
Tom Selleck did? Tom Selleck my book?
Even better, a better bachelor. Although Selleck was a bachelor.
Yeah. Did I tell you what happened to sales since Better Bachelor announced the...
I mean, you showed us how they've been climbing.
Yeah, and then I went out to Miami, and that even produced it more. And then Better Bachelor dropped an actual review. My sales have tripled.
Nice.
Yes. So there's going to be a nice big down payment on that mortgage when I come through. That's going to be some good stuff. Hey, they installed the septic tank today.
Oh, so no more shilling for the septic.
Well, I mean, I think we raised about, we must have raised at least $3,000, and the cost in the installation was about $9,000. It just goes into a general fund and it pays quote unquote for the house. But we got the septic tank is installed. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Future donations will go to the flooring fund, I guess now, or the cabinet fund.
How about the color of the doorknobs fund?
No, they're going to be, I don't know what color they are. We picked something. I don't know. I even had like, Chad, what kind of texture would you want on your wall?
I wouldn't even know.
Look at your wall. Does it have texture?
I mean, it's my office wall. Doesn't have much.
Is it perfectly flat? Is there a little bit of a...
There's a little bit of cottage cheese, very so faint there.
Okay, maybe that's orange peel. See, you don't notice it. See, guys don't notice this.
Whatever it is pretty cheap here.
Right. Well, I thought, like, is it just going to be sheetrock and you paid over it? He's like, oh no, that's very high maintenance and very costly, and you'll see every imperfection. You probably want to texture it. I'm like, okay, what are my options? Like, well, you got popcorn and you got orange peel, and then there's like this subdued Bluetooth or whatever the heck they called it, and it's kind of a not too textury. I'm like, yeah, go with that. And that just dawned on me, like, I've been in my buddy's house for 3 days, and I haven't noticed what the texture on her walls are. Ask me what the texture was on the walls of my 2 houses that I've owned. I don't remember, so it can't be that important. So I'm like, yeah, go with that one.
Stuff would give me a headache. Fred for $2. Set up Chad with my cousin, nurse, 30 votes Republican in Chicago. I only have one question regarding this person. Let me see if you can guess, Clary, the first thing I'm going to ask.
First question is how many times more does she weigh than me?
I was going to say, is she fat? That is always the first question anytime somebody... Yeah. And it's a fair one, huh?
It's not an issue of fair. It's a mandatory question, because if you're not physically attracted to the other person, there's no reason to bother.
A bunch of people in the chat got it too. Island Hermit for another. Oh, we
already got that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the thing bumped on me. I'm sorry. We'll get that there. No.
Well, you got to go all the way up here. All
right, let me get all the way up.
The next one.
Someday we'll get to my topics of conversation I want to talk about.
Go back up to Mexi Mike. He's the one right after Fred there.
Scrolling. All right, hang on. Hold off on the super chats, guys. We're really far behind, and I do inevitably have to go to bed.
Yeah, and I got to get back to work.
Yeah, and there will be more podcasts coming up later on this week. So, hang on. Let's go. Come on.
Mexi Mike for $2. What's "see you with their eyes" mean? I'm just saying. I don't know what that means.
Well, you all see with your eyes. That was the joke. How do women see Hispanic men in terms of dating? I'd say, well, they
Oh,
probably see them with their eyes. Did you not get that joke?
well, it was like 40 minutes ago. That's why I'm like,
Okay, yeah. No, it's like Mitch Hedberg had this great joke, and people come up to me and say, I hear music. And I say, you are not special. That is how everybody takes in music. It's
I hear music.
everybody hears it. You are not unique. And that was the joke.
I've had too long a day for these. The goddamn bacon for 556. What is this concept called marriage you speak of? I'm just asking for a friend here, and
It
I
is
know
it
a
is
friend.
it is literally where you forfeit your rights to your money and your time and your freedom, and you give all the power to the woman, and you basically cut your nuts off. And I don't want you emailing me, oh, like get divorced first, then contact me.
Ulysses Vasquez. We are yes, $1.99 late to the party. Thoughts on International Women's Day? We already kind of talked about
Yeah,
that, right?
we didn't know it was. It came and went. There you
Yeah,
go.
I didn't know. Nigel Cardoso for £2 British. Is that what that is?
That is, yes, British pounds.
What career should I choose if I don't like STEM? Accounting.
You can email me at assholeconsulting.com, and I will charge you an arm and a leg, or you can buy the book Worthless, and they'll give you some ideas there.
Cool. DJ Aftershock, $5. Happy wife, happy life. Wifey wants that new McMansion in Haymarket while I work 80 hours a week, and I paid for her social work master's degree. Yeah, I see. I got a lot of social workers as clients.
That dude, that is more common than you think. That is way more common than you think.
The amount of debt they have. Ulysses again for $4.99. My birthday is tomorrow. How do you celebrate your birthday?
Um, I celebrated my birthday with a bunch of family and not family. Some friends came over, including Lucifer and Geronimo. The GF made Jack Daniel's infused ganache with Jack Daniel cake with Jack Daniel chocolate frosting, chocolate chip and chocolate chips, chocolate cupcakes,
Nice.
and then we had pizza. And we made origami, and we taught little kids how to make airplanes. They thought I was God because I made an airplane that could do tricks. Um, yeah, that's how I celebrate. But normally, in the past, I'd be working. One time, I went and threw my entire birthday, not knowing it was my birthday until all of a sudden I'm like, wait. More recently, it's just kind of maybe go to dinner, sex, Cowboy Bebop, go to bed.
I remember when you used to go to Vegas to celebrate your birthday.
That was my 40th. I went there for my
Yeah.
40th. Yeah.
Fred for another $5. Could you tell if you got through to the three gals that their youth is really all men care about? You mentioned tickety talk, but they barely reacted. Were they all in their 30s?
Yeah, there was one who was 29, but don't worry, she
Mm.
just started her degree in hotel management, so it'll be all okay. Um, I got through as much as anyone else did, because they were a little bit quiet when I said, "Well, why don't you have guys? What's been the holdup?" And this gets back to that theory that deep down inside everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Like deep down inside, every girl knows that nobody likes fat chicks. Okay, no one. And it is, and this is again where I have to tip my hat to Ryan Stone with his book. It is more important to not just women, but in this particular case, women, but other people, men as well, in some cases, to have your feelings spared and believe in a line of delusion than it is to live in the real world. And so, having their cake and eating it too, essentially. So, deep down inside, I almost guarantee you all three knew what was being told to them was correct, although it could have been, I think some people could have told it a little bit more politely. But they just don't want to believe it because it's more important that they hold on to that delusion, because that's the most important thing in their life. So I probably did get through to them a little bit, but they're not going to change. They're not going to. Oh, you're right. I see the light. Thank you, Aaron Clary. Now I'll actually go find a guy to make me, because then that's why I said, okay, here's this guy. He makes a lot of money. 5 6, and they all just rejected you. Like, oh God, no! Like you were a leper, or you had a double-headed penis or something.
I didn't even think the blonde one that did most of the talking was even the best looking one there.
The Latina was, yes, the Latina was the cutest one.
No, I thought actually the other one was, but
The tall
anyway.
gal.
Who was the one that was dark haired but sitting to the blonde one's right, closest to you?
That was the young gal. That was the 29-year-old.
I thought she was better looking the other two.
Really? Okay.
Anyway,
Well, too bad. She's 5'11" and hates your guts. So
he was 5'11". I take that
hell.
back. No. Okay, what's next? Media hits for $5. Aaron, did you rock out last summer at Sturgis to Smash Mouth?
I avoid Sturgis. I mean, I go to Sturgis, the town, but I avoid the rally because it's just the traffic, too many rookies. You can't enjoy riding in the Black Hills. I will leave South Dakota even the week before and after, which ends up becoming the better part of a month. It's just not worth it.
I remember last year, the smug media. Yeah, see all the COVID outbreak because of that?
Yep, that doesn't matter. They can.
Ulysses Vasquez, $1.99. Advice on how to become a less sensitive man. Just watch his videos.
Work more. No, because I can't. He can watch all the videos in the world and read a book about it. Live. Just live. And you'll have enough people lie to you, cheat on you, scoundrel you. And I'm not talking necessarily women, of course. I mean, it could be your career, friends, media. And once you start to, here's what I want you to do, Ulysses. Start looking at humanity for what it is. And then when you realize most of them are worthless pieces of shit squandering this precious gift they've been given on this planet, you'll learn to hate them. And you'll be like, then you're just not care. You just don't care about people. And you only care about the key people that actually are worth a damn in your life.
So I'll just say this real quick, and we won't get into it tonight. Like this tax season, dude, whatever nice guy I had in me is gone. I promise you it is fucking gone. So
All right.
Mexi Mike for $5. Like I said before, womenist boom / 1.0 Gen X 2.0 Y 3.0 Spencer tsunami reaching peak.
Mm-hmm.
Younger Gen Z might about face. Younger men might have a small chance.
No, as long as we have the world's reserve currency, we make money, print or go burr, it will not happen. As long as you send your kids to public schools and educate your kids in the public schools, they are going to get the indoctrination. Women are going to put their careers first above all other things. And it will not change until you stop programming women to love themselves and their careers more than they would family, loved ones, whatever, children, their own husband. This will not change.
Mm-hmm.
It will not change. And so no young generation is going to have the intellectual horsepower, let alone the wisdom and experience to be able to say, hey, wait a second, this is wrong. It's not going to happen. Just give up on it.
Yeah. Bacon for $2.23. Black woman-owned business boards winning. No. For the winning. No.
Okay. Good for them.
Media hits for $5. The Joker movie has subway criminals like Trump and his buddies, TJ and Clary, assault civilians. Was it the Coke back in the 80s that fueled this?
Yeah, there was certainly Coke in the 80s and Wall Street types. I don't necessarily know if Coke fueled people to attack people in subways.
Mexi Mike for $2. Tweet us on the first shit of septic tank christening.
I will. If you want, I will film the flushing of the toilet.
Yeah, give us a visual. Dre for $1.99. For Cappy's Brave Transition Fund, #Operation Evil.
All right. I think we're caught up.
There's a few more.
Here.
Yeah, Fred for $1.99. The president dog bit guard. Can Cappy do something to dog? Yeah, Biden's.
If you did you see the meme Napier sent out about me? No, I'm sorry. He gave it to me, and it was so good I posted it myself.
I've been working too much. I haven't seen anything.
There's that meme of the Japanese animation guy looking at a butterfly, and it's usually like, it will say, bombing of Syria, Gen Xer. Is this World War III? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it said Clary, and the butterfly was a dog, and it said, "Is this a punching bag?" And so it was pretty clever. So, but
is it on your Twitter?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter. Yeah, you could find it. Yeah, you guys can do that.
Mexi Mike, $5. Let these females have their standards. The top 20% to 1% of us who do the work will have the pick of the litter when you reach early 30s to late 50s. Smile and nod.
Cute and cuddly, boys. Cute and cuddly. Yeah, that's true. All right. So what happened? What happened with your with your taxes here? What are you? Why are you so angry now? This is supposed to be the season. This is supposed to be the season you were a changed man.
I think you're looking to go pretty soon. Are you sure you want me to get started on this, man?
We gotta. I look. I don't mind the super chats, but man, sometimes you just want to rant. I mean, sometimes it's like, hey guys, here was my day, because otherwise I have women to talk to in my life, and I can't exactly talk to them about everything because they don't get it. Like, why would you call Chad a dick? He's such a nice guy.
There is so much shit going on right now that's making this season suck that I had to write it down just so I
Okay,
could
please.
remember it
All
all.
right, all right.
Jesus fucking Christ. So I think I told you this before the season even started. We got a very late start this year because the stupid fucking IRS was not letting people file their tax returns until February 12th.
Right.
That's 3 weeks later than they normally let people do that. So that was the first thing that really put a lot of us behind the eight ball. A lot of anxiety. Oh, when can I file? Why some people's refunds, possibly yours, is delayed, et cetera, et cetera. So that was the first thing. Next thing, and I kind of anticipated this, but not to the extent that it's been a huge problem. 98% of the work that I do, and this is so atypical, like 98% is virtual.
Okay.
That has never happened before. Now you tell me, what's more efficient? Somebody coming in here, giving me their documents, I do it, they come back and get it, or people just piecemeal trying to upload things to my smartphone.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
it'd probably be easier if they just came to your office and gave you all the documentation in one shot.
But I want to add something here. I mean, sure, some of them are saying they're using it as an excuse. Well, the pandemic and COVID, I'm not, comfortable. Bullshit. They're lazy. They're lazy and they just don't want to leave their houses because there's been a huge culture shift because of this goddamn pandemic. And now everybody wants to do everything over Zoom. So I used to have
But
a nice.
let me defend it. Isn't that kind of over? I know it's disadvantageous for your particular business, but aren't you kind of happy that we don't have to commute ever again? Like, if you don't want to,
Yeah,
you could just,
no, I mean it in this specific context. Like, I get nobody should have to commute again. I'm totally cool with that. But for things like your taxes, if it's this important and you need it this quickly, you need to come in. I'm like, look, you can mask up the whole time. I wiped this place down. So long and short of it, nobody's coming in. Which, when this whole thing started a year ago, I was excited about it first. I'm like, great, I never have to see these fuckers. I can just do it from home. No, the inefficiencies. You have to remember, when it started last year, it was after March 15th. The real heavy stuff is on March 15th and earlier. I don't have to tell you why. You already know why.
That's right. I got till April 15th to file my corporate taxes, right?
Yeah, that's why I haven't filed them yet.
Touche.
But I actually, I'm going somewhere with that, believe it or not. I got some shit to say right now, so be sure you.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, I can sit here and let let you take the reins.
Okay. So that's an issue because there's no efficiency. There's people who are too stupid to remember what they have and what they have not uploaded. So I get all the documents. So they expect me to babysit them and be like, well, we're missing this, this, and this. And I told people at the beginning, with the client-wide email, I'm like, I'm not your babysitter. It's your responsibility to make sure I have everything by the deadlines. So I'm clashing with people about that. What else is going on in the country right now? Let me see if you've been keeping on top of this shit.
Well, they're trying to get more stimulus checks, and that's going to throw off something. And
let me tell you how shitty the timing is of this whole, we've almost got the stimulus checks passed, we're there.
Right.
So, with the stimulus, it's based on your adjusted gross income, right? So
right.
They will either base it on what your 2019 adjusted gross income was, because that's the last tax return you filed, or they will base it on your 2021. Now, do you think more people made more money or less money in 2020?
Oh, yeah, they made less money in 2020 than 2019.
Yes. So, of course, people want to report, they want to get their 2020 returns in so they can show they made less money. Some of them have kids because they want the stimulus money right now.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. The issue is that the timing of this thing fucking sucked because we touched on it just now. I have two types of clients, right? I've got March 15th clients and April 15th clients, okay? For people that don't know, March 15th clients are those with businesses, with corporations. You have to get all of those in by March 15th. You have to. So the people who their tax returns due April 15th, this has to get put on the back burner. So for the last several days, I've been getting like all kinds of emails from people. They're like, I need a rush job on my taxes. Now that this stimulus, and now I'm talking about the 1040s, the individual. Right. What do you think pays me higher fees?
The corporate clients do.
So if these people in their individual taxes had weeks and weeks and weeks to get me their shit, and I've got the deadline, in 6 days, I've got to get the S-Corp returns. The S-Corp people pay higher fees.
Right.
Who do you think I'm going to give a fuck about right now?
And I'm going to bet the corporate clients also have their documents to you on time as well.
Yes, they do. My corporate clients, for the most part, have their shit together. Not just you, although you're decent. Don't like your estimated taxes.
Decent. Wow, I get decent.
I don't want to get your head get too big. I don't like that estimated tax. But anyway.
So do you like give A through F, including the minuses and pluses? What was my latest tax return? Like the latest tax? How did I score on that? I thought it would have been an A.
No, it was an A. I'm just saying. I thought. Well, we've already talked about it. I agree with your GF. I think you should change that. But anyway. All right. So you have to appreciate what's going on right now. Like for the last several days, my email has been filling up with lower paying individual clients that think they deserve to go to the top of the pile. They don't. So I've been having a lot of back and forth. Some are like, well, you have to do this for me. So of course I give them a higher quote. I'm like, you want to move to the top? It's going to be X amount. How dare you?
Goodbye. Bye.
So it's been a rough, going back since last week because I'm having all these back and forth with people.
This is after you've already gone through 2 cullings.
Yes. Right. Yes. And there's going to be more. And I think what pisses me off so much is the selfishness of it because they had weeks. I warned people about this. I warned them. I'm like, look, I don't know when this stimulus thing is going to pass, but you need to get your shit ready and done. If you made less money, get it to me. Nobody did. Now, some of this is because of that February 12th, that late start date, but It doesn't change the fact that people could have gotten me their stuff way earlier than that.
And here's another question I have about the 1040 years. Most of these are just a simple W-2, and that's about it. Maybe some tax deductions.
Yeah, so Schedule A, yeah.
Isn't that something you can do like the day you get your W-2? I mean, it's nothing complicated. You just give you the W-2 and maybe a 1098 statement if you had a mortgage, and that's about it.
Yes, mostly, investments. Going back, you remember how at the beginning of this, somebody was pissed because their brokerage form came late?
Right.
So there is some of that, and those usually don't come until February 15th. But dude, it's been 4 weeks now. Everybody has had everything for 4 weeks now, officially. So I'm just, humor me on this. Why the fuck should I dedicate my energy to people who pay me less fees, who are more demanding, never have their shit together, refuse to come in here to give me their stuff, over people who have a literal deadline in 5.5 days? Like,
because they're a single mom and they need help.
Some of them are.
They're disadvantaged. You
remember that note that somebody taped to my door? I took a picture and showed it to you and Atham. Like that was. I still have it just to save as a memento. Just to remind myself to be a dick. So I don't want to slip back and be a nice guy. But so that's essentially what's going on right now, is that I have this battle, and I'm not siding any with the 1040 people because I don't give a shit if they leave. They don't pay the bills the way the corporate ones do.
Right.
So there's that. I'm not like, while we've been talking, I've on another screen I have my email. There's all sorts of shit
coming in live.
Yeah. And I've already said to some of them, I'm not doing it till after March 15th. Well, that's going to fuck up my stimulus. And I said, you should have paid attention to my email several weeks ago when I told you not to wait. So
and now they're hurt fraggy vaggies. And
but some are like, look, you can up your fee. What's the estimate? And I give them the estimate and they get so butthurt. I'm like, well, this is your fault. You want the top of the pile, you fucking pay for it.
You know what it really boils down to?
What?
It sucks to be irresponsible. It really
Yes.
sucks. Now, Ryan Stone and good fun and jest when January, well, New Year's Eve, I actually started doing my taxes because I was actually at this house when I was doing these taxes. And by January 1st, I had all my receipts organized and entered into my my spreadsheet. And then I took a picture and I tagged Ryan Stone and he made fun of me like, my God, you're already done with your taxes on January 1st. Now, that's a bit of an extreme. And it was also because I just wanted to do it and be done with it. But I don't have these problems.
And you know
Like,
what? Most of my S corp clients don't either. You
and
know?
that's what I was going to point out is if you're a responsible person and you don't procrastinate, you don't live a life where you're such a fucking loser that you need your stimulus.
Right.
And now I understand there are some genuinely disadvantaged folk, like you're young and you're just starting out, you're working in the service industry. I get that, but I'm gonna guess this is not the lion's share. These are just lazy fucking people who probably don't need a stimulus check, but they
Yes.
have so mismanaged their finances that they live paycheck to paycheck and they need one. And
Dead on.
all I gotta know is, are you done living a sucky life, being a procrastinating lazy fuck? Do you want to get your shit? I mean, everyone picks on Ward Cleaver. Oh, crazy Ward Cleaver, 50s patriarchy. Ward Cleaver uh was a superior man. He got his shit done on time. He was probably ahead of schedule. He stayed in shape, took care of his family and the kids. He was a reliable, responsible adult. And here you got people my generation in their 40s, like, oh, how dare you charge me more? It's like, I'm sorry. Are you a millennial? Are you a Fredgy Veggie? Oh, because you sure sound like it. So yeah, fuck them. No.
You know what the best part on some of these have been? You know, when I do the higher quote, they're like, I'm not paying for that. I'm going to go somewhere else. I smile and say, good luck finding a CPA who's going to charge you less than that right now. So
They'll find out. They'll learn. They'll learn. Oh. Was that it? Was that all your ages?
there's a few more, but I know you got to go. So I'll keep it.
We'll save them for later then. Let's get through the remaining super chats. What? You got one more?
Just one more. I'll be quick about it. Because everybody's been shut in for a year, you know, they're isolated or whatever. I get people wanting to talk, whether it's Zoom or calls, constantly because they're lonely. I'm not paid to be a fucking therapist. So that was the last thing I wanted to say. That's been a problem lately.
These the older people, or is this just people in general?
Everybody. Yeah. Younger, even married people.
Yeah, you know what? You got to take command of, like, when I do individual consulting over Skype. I mean, I'll even email. I'm like, here's the deal. Do not waste my fucking time. We're going to solve your problem, address your problem, da, da, da. And when your problem is solved, I don't care if it took us 5 minutes and you still paid for 55 minutes. We're done.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time. And so you got to say, look, I'm incredibly busy. It's tax season. I do not have time to be social or chit chat. I need your information here and now so I can get you the best, price possible. Da 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 da. You got it. Okay, goodbye. And that's the way to do it. Otherwise, you do not have the time for this. Not during this time season or tax season.
The last thing I'll say about it is that there's a decent chance that I may I'm not even going to do individual tax returns after this year. It's not worth it. I
don't blame you. You did the math. You can live off of corporate.
Yeah.
So there. It's just then maybe you could be relaxed and chill like me and Atham.
Yeah, like you. Mexi Mike for $5. Well, we did that one. There's a.
You did? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to Juan. Juan was here. Boom. There we go.
Yeah, Juan for $5. We're all watching the evolution of Chad. From nice guy to grade A asshole, CPA is the route to go if you want to stop being kind to people. During tax season, yes. By the way, I know you haven't watched it, and I know you hate doing this. You really ought to watch that stream I did with Rob, because I refer to you a few times and the help it's allowed me to become an asshole. So
okay, I will. Is it on? It's on Rob's channel, right?
Rob says it's on Rob's channel. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take. Now he doesn't call it the Salt Lake Sit Down anymore, right?
He called ours the sit down, the Salt Lake Sit Down. Yeah.
I'll look him up. And it's not that I don't want to. It's just
I understand.
I'll be a hell of a lot happier person come June. Be a hell of a lot happier person.
God, I'll be a happier person in 5.5 weeks. Fred for $2, but Chad, It's hard for women like my cousin too. Fred, are you saying your cousin's fat? Anyway. Fred for $2. Big firm, Chad be sent to HR sensitivity training. During tax season, I think they're even smart enough to know not to do that shit.
I would love to go work in corporate America again and say, "Oh, we got the sensitivity training." I'm like, "Well, have fun." Would you?
Yeah.
No, you are going to have to fire me, and I will sue you if you force me to take that bullshit. I will make such a stink and a fuss. You will so regret bringing that toxic bullshit in here. But I know most of you Republican, conservative, cucky American cuck fathers, you live paycheck to paycheck because you thought buying that $600,000 McMansion would get your wife to suck your dick again like it was 2004.
2004. The Competent Man for $5. April 16th, with an extension, we got to October 15th. So long as we get you the pallets of shoe boxes of receipt by October 13th, we are good. So the deadline was extended to July 15th last year, and I never got a break. I'm declaring this right now. Everybody listen, so I'm held accountable. I'm not doing a single second of work the entire month of May.
Can you refuse extensions?
No, I mean I can file it for them, but I can also say I'm not even going to look at your shit until June or July or later. So May is my time.
Good.
Bacon 556. Agreed, Chad. I stopped taking runs for customers that don't tip after a certain point, mostly East Indian. They're usually more difficult payers. Yes, I've found a strong correlation between difficult clients and cheapskates.
So yeah, well, that would define a difficult client is someone who doesn't pay you.
Well, no, I mean harder for me to make me do my job outside of the money. Yeah. Dre for $1.99. Slow hand clap for Chad finally not being a nice guy. Thank you. I still have work to do. On that.
I think we got the agreed.
Two more. DJ for $2. I live near a bunch of Republicans off I-66. He's talking about the freeway in Northern Virginia that runs to Washington. Okay. Yeah. DJ for $2. Throw a middle finger for my cousin getting a
master's in social work.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering, has any social worker ever made a lick of difference? Has any social worker ever gotten one person out of poverty? Or
I can actually answer this. A lot of the social, because therapists ended up being a niche of mine. A lot of my therapists are social workers. Mm-hmm. So I can't say for sure if they're helping anybody, but they do seem to make a lot of money listening to people's problems.
You think I could make money doing that, listening to people's problems? You think there's a market for me in that field?
You see, the trick is you have to get insurance to pay for you. That's how people make so much money on this. It's a scam. I think it's all a scam.
It is a huge we have more psychologists and more psychological drugs, and now we have more psychological problems. We have so much welfare and so much social work and so much social spending and this program and that program, yet we have more poverty and racial tensions and sexual tensions and all that. It's like, no, you guys are just Jesse Jackson stirring up the pot so you come in there with your race pimping or sex whoring and just say, oh, I'm going to solve it and be a meditator and an intermediary and just give me my money. And no, it's, oh, by the way, you also have a mental illness. Give me $300 to tell you that. And here's a Ritalin prescription, of which I'll probably get a kickback on.
I have to say, I indirectly benefited from this too, because these clients are those S-Corp clients that actually have their shit together and pay me. So
good. No, I'm glad to hear. Yeah. And then I'm not saying that you don't need a therapist. I'm not saying it's not bad or it's not good to talk to someone who's a third party independent who could tell it, but that's why I recommend Dr. David Maloney over at histherapist.com. All right. You don't want some ditzy moron who at the age of 17, I'm good with people. And then at 23 graduates and tells some old grizzled 42-year-old Iraqi vet what's wrong with them. There's no reason to listen to those people.
Does he focus on men's?
Yep. He does men only. Yep.
Atham for $2. Am I a nice guy? What do you guys think? I have an answer. What,
He's a nice guy to guys. Yeah.
Atham is one of the nicest freaking dudes to his friends. I can't speak for outside of that, but
but for women, he knows it's okay. It's not being a dick. It's not being a weapons grade asshole. It's just like, no, here are the rules. No, you're not the most important thing. No, I'm not gonna. It really is getting up to where we're at the age now, and we're also literally at the age now. We would have had teenage sons and daughters.
yeah.
And we're at the point where we've gotten that wisdom where it's telling a 16-year-old daughter, no, 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 no. And that's the closest parallel. It doesn't matter how old those women get, but like, oh my God, your beard isn't groomed correctly. Your beard is like, yeah, you know what? You're grounded. Just get up to your room right now. It's all right. Last
Fred
one.
Yes, Fred for $2. More psychologists, drugs, money, yet suicides, liberalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. If you want to help out Cappy, olderbrother.com/donate. There's a couple of places there. The Book of Numbers is selling amazingly well. Thank you for everyone who bought it. Thank you for all the guys who promote it, including the guys over at Rule Zero. Rich Cooper, Roll, Tomasi, Ryan Stone, Sterling Cooper, Troy Francis. I think I got them. Oh, Modern Life, John, of course. Thank you for Fresh and Fit podcast for promoting me. Thank you for Better Bachelor, of course, for promoting me. So if you guys, and even though Kevin Samuelston, we talked about him, please tune into those guys and check out their stuff as well. The Book of Numbers is available on paperback, Kindle, and Audible on Amazon. I tell you, I was outselling Thomas Sowell for a while.
Yeah, you texted that. That's
That's pretty
interesting.
cool. Yeah, it was like I tagged him in it. He didn't respond. It's just like if I was a fanboy, it'd be like, oh, hey Tom, could you? He won't tweet back at me. That's how I go.
I've been meaning to buy the audio book for your book. It's just I want to have time to actually take it in.
Take your time. It'll still be there. Even if I die, the book will still be there. Oh, we got one more.
DJ for $2. Well, at least it's better than Taxachusetts, 65% Democrat.
Yeah. I wonder how Boston's doing. You think it's still a traffic-infested shithole?
I would never want to live there, and I've been there a few times.
And to drive my car in the bar. It's like,
I hate those accents.
I don't mind them. I always thought like Boston would be like, oh yeah, a little bit more rough and tumble, bunch of big liberal leftist pussies. It's just a bunch of fucking leftist pussies. So, all right, that's it. olderbrother.com/donate. Questions at assholeconsulting.com. Chad, take us out.
Fred for $2. Imitate Krugman's reaction to stimulus passing.
And there. All right, take us out.
Toodles.